Fantasy Football 2025 pre-draft wide receiver tier list to help you win your fantasy football league. Let's get into it. Tier 1, pretty self-explanatory. This is pretty much everyone's tier 1. Ja'Marr Chase just won the Triple Crown. Bengals, one of the worst defenses in the NFL, one of the best offenses in the NFL, causes for more touchdowns and yards. Next up, Jefferson. Jefferson is just an unbelievable talent. He has never had a Joe Burrow like Ja'Marr Chase, and he continuously puts up good yards. Last year, everyone was scared to rank him pretty high because of Sam Darnold, but I think Justin Jefferson and Kevin O'Connell have proven that they will get this offense going no matter who is at quarterback, and I think McCarthy coming into the NFL has a higher ceiling than what Darnold did last year. The last receiver in tier 1, CeeDee Lamb. If Dak Prescott stays completely healthy, CeeDee Lamb's in for a great year. We've seen when him and Dak are both healthy, they just put up astronomical numbers. He's in tier 1. Tier 2, guys, Puka Nacua, an absolute stud. The only thing that scares me with him is the injuries. We've seen him hurt last year, and now we see Stafford dealing with injuries, and it's kind of up in the air. It's a little bit of a mystery. Their backup's Jimmy G. Now, say what you want about Jimmy G. That is a much better backup than what they have had in the past. So if Stafford does go down, it will obviously affect everyone on that offense. But I think McVay is one of the best offensive coaches in the league, and I think Jimmy G can hold his own, especially with McVay calling the shots. Next up, Neighbors. Honestly, if he was on a little bit of a better team, he could easily be in tier 1. He's dealing with a little bit of injuries, but it's not worrying me yet. Keyword is yet. Lower back, that's pretty scary, but he has the biggest quarterback upgrade in anyone in football. I say what you want about Russell Wilson or Winston or Dart. They are all much better than Daniel Jones and whoever the heck was playing quarterback for the Giants last year. And we seen when he was healthy last year, the numbers he was putting up, and now he gets the best quarterback upgrade out of everyone. Love me some Malik Neighbors this year. Next up, Nico Collins. Nico Collins is the number 1 receiver on the Texans. We know what he is when he's healthy. The issue with him is, can he stay healthy? Can CJ Stroud stay healthy? We've seen this Texans team just deal with injuries constantly. I'm almost positive Collins has never played a full season. When he's healthy and him and CJ Stroud are both healthy, he could honestly have an argument if he stays healthy to full season to finish wide receiver number 1. To end tier 2, we got Amon-Ra St. Brown. Usually he would be in tier 1, but if you guys been following me, you know I am extremely low on the Lions this year. The loss of Ben Johnson scares me. And if you've been following me for a couple years now, you know I think Amon-Ra St. Brown is a PPR merchant. He does not get a ton of work after the catch. If he doesn't get 10 catches, as to the tier 1 guys, Ja'Marr Chase, Justin Jefferson, and CeeDee Lamb could get 4 catches in a game, but they could have 100 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he can break a big play here and there, but for the most part, if that man doesn't have 10 catches, he's not getting 100 yards. Or around that, like he can get 9 for 100, but I don't think he has the ability like Chase, like Jefferson, like Lamb to only have 4 catches with 100 yards and a touchdown. I think he needs to be more active, and I think if the loss of Ben Johnson is going to not free him up as much, I think we're going to see a lot of the Lions offensive players go down in fantasy football, and it's because of the loss of Ben Johnson. Next up, tier 3. Tier 3 is a little weird one for me. These are guys that I easily could have put in tier 2, but they all scare me and for different reasons. Brian Thomas Jr., arguably the best rookie receiver last year outside of Neighbors, and he has Liam Cohen calling plays for him. He's an offensive guru, but the thing with Brian Thomas that scares me is, what if Travis Hunter's better than him? It's a low percent. I don't think Travis Hunter will be better than him, but he has the potential to. Travis Hunter was one of the most hyped up draft prospects there was. They traded up for him. If Travis Hunter is better than him, or even 50-50 with him, we're going to see a huge decline for Brian Thomas Jr. That's kind of scares me. That's the only reason why I don't have him tier 2. Next up, A.J. Brown. The reason A.J. Brown's in tier 3 and not tier 2, we all know he is one of the most talented wide receivers in the NFL. He's dealing with injuries right now, and honestly, the Eagles, if you see my quarterback breakdown, you know what I'm about to say. The Eagles don't throw the ball a lot. Their defense is lights out, and they have Super Bowl aspirations. They're going to rest him. If he's not fully healthy, I can see them saying, okay, well, we want to win a Super Bowl, not a week 1 or week 2 game. I can easily see him missing weeks. I don't think it's likely. And they just don't throw a lot. They were one of the lowest pass attempts as a team in the NFL last year, so that scares me. That limits his upside, obviously. Last but not least, Tyreek Hill. A lot of guys think I'm probably way too high on Tyreek Hill based off last year, but I honestly think last year he was just dealing with that wrist injury. It was affecting him tremendously, and I think if he's fully healthy, he has potential to be in the tier 1. I know he had that weird little, I want to be traded out of Miami, but I think things have settled down there. Tensions have lowered. And I think if he's healthy, Tua's healthy. Don't forget, 2 years ago, Tyreek Hill was, I think, the best player in fantasy football that wasn't a quarterback. Tyreek Hill has all the potential in the world. He didn't look washed. He didn't lose his speed. I really think it was the wrist injury. And if it was just that, he has potential to be in tier 1. Next up, tier 4, T. Higgins. I know he is the wide receiver 2 in Cincinnati because they have Jamar Chase. But like I said for Jamar Chase, he's still on that Bengals team that is going to throw 35 times a game because their defense is terrible. Like, this offense could put up 30 plus points and lose. T. Higgins is one of the most talented wide receivers in the NFL. I think he would be a one on a lot of other NFL teams. And when he is fully healthy, he could easily get 12 to 1,300 yards with Chase still doing his thing because that's how bad this defense is and that's how good this offense is. Next up, JSN. I'm feeling weird about, man. I know he was an absolute stud and this is his 3rd year now, and usually the 3rd year is when players really break out. That Seahawks team kind of scares me. They signed Darnold and he had a great year, but he doesn't have Kevin O'Connell calling plays for him. Doesn't have Justin Jefferson. As good as JSN is, he's nowhere close to a Justin Jefferson yet. I just don't think the passing game, the scheme, the offensive line is going to be there for Darnold as it was in Minnesota. So I'm kind of skeptical on JSN, but he has all the talent in the world, man. So I still have him ranked pretty high, tier 4. I would draft him towards the end of round 2, really, beginning of 3. Next up, Garrett Wilson. I don't know how good the Jets' passing offense will be. I think they're going to be extremely run-heavy with the signing of Justin Fields. But I will say when they pass the ball, there is absolutely no one fighting Wilson for targets. Wilson, as a talent, there's no question he's one of the better receivers in the NFL. I just don't know how much they're going to be passing. They are probably going to be down a lot. I don't expect this Jets team to light up anything. I think they could be sneaky, floating around 500, but I don't think they're going to be blowing teams out to where they just continuously run the ball. We've seen Justin Fields make DJ Moore extremely good in fantasy football. I think he can do it with Garrett Wilson. I think Garrett Wilson's a great talent. I don't see why not. Next up, Drake London. I am the low guy on Drake London this year. It's funny because last year I was the extremely high guy with the signing of Kirk Cousins, but now this year they're starting off with Penix, and when Penix took over, Drake London still did good, don't get me wrong, but they are an extremely run-heavy team. I don't think Drake London is as good as A.J. Brown, and I think that the Falcons are going to pass like the Eagles just about 27-ish times a game. I don't think they're a crazy good team like the Eagles, so they might be playing from behind a lot more, which could boost London, but London just doesn't really do anything other than catch a ton of passes. Don't get me wrong, he's really good at what he does, but kind of reminds me of an Amon-Ra St. Brown, to where if he doesn't get those 10 catches, he might be a fantasy bust for you that week. I think he just relies on catching passes way too much. I don't think he never seems that explosive. He can win 50-50 balls. He's a big receiver. I think he played basketball in college, so he can win those 50-50 balls, but in terms of creating his own play, he just doesn't do that. Next up, tier 5. Kicking off tier 5 is Davante Adams. I know Davante Adams is getting older in age, and Father Time's going to catch up to him eventually. But one thing about Davante Adams last year, he did not look like he missed a step. He was still getting extremely open, and now he's on a Rams offense that gets receivers but booty open. I know he has a history with Jimmy G and they didn't work out in the past, but under McVay, I think it can work. He's already said it was misinterpreted to the media. Now that could have just been said because they're teammates again. I think in a McVay scheme, this is going to be Adams' best year in a long time, I think. Next up, Courtland Sutton. He is really the only receiver there fighting for targets in Denver. I think he's just going to get fed the ball. Last year, he was amazing for fantasy football, absolutely smashed his ADP. This year, I think he's getting drafted appropriately. I think I'm high compared to everyone else on Sutton, and I just think Bo Nix is going to take a huge step up. It's his 2nd year. He already learned in the NFL. He has that NFL experience, and I think we can see an even better year out of Sutton. Next up, Metcalf. He's on Pittsburgh now, and everyone knows the history of Aaron Rodgers and his number one receiver. That duo right there is a great duo to have for fantasy football. Not a lot of competition for targets for Metcalf, so he's in tier 5. Next up, McConkey. This is someone that I've been moving up and down since the signing of Keenan Allen. Before the signing of Keenan Allen, I had him in tier 4, but in that preseason game, McConkey was still playing the slot, which I was surprised to see because if anything, Keenan Allen has been playing the slot his whole career, so That was a great sign for me. So right now I have him in tier 5, but this Chargers offense is a little bit hard to read for me. I mean, Herbert's an amazing NFL quarterback. Hasn't really been the best for fantasy, besides the year he had Kellen Moore calling plays for him where he threw 40 plus times a game. But other than that, McConkey really stepped into his own last year, so I don't think a 32, 33-year-old Keenan Allen should limit his targets. I think McConkey's best in the slot, and the signing of Keenan Allen is going to hurt him playing in the slot, but the fact that he played slot in the preseason game boosted me on him. And last but not least, Mr. Consistent Mike Evans. Every single year, 1,000 plus yards, 10 plus touchdowns. What else can you say? I don't think this Bucs offense is going to slow down. Mike Evans didn't look like he lost a step. I know Father Time's eventually going to catch up to him, but I don't think it's going to be this year, man. Next up, tier 6, Marvin Harrison Jr. was an absolute hype train coming into the NFL and did not deliver. Now, did he have a bad rookie year in comparison to other rookies? No, unless you're comparing him to Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. But in a broad term of NFL rookies, he didn't have the worst year ever, and I think this is a perfect buy low opportunity on Marvin Harrison Jr. Now, I don't think the Cardinals are that much of a powerhouse for throwing. I think their game plan is to run the ball, and I honestly think Trey McBride draws more targets than Marvin Harrison Jr. But like I said, I think it's a great low spot for him. It's a buy low, buy to dip, man. Next up, DJ Moore. I originally had DJ Moore in tier 5, maybe even 4, because I'm ecstatic about this Bears team, and Ben Johnson is an offensive guru. But then I get to thinking, well, I'm high on DJ Moore. You got Odunze, who's an absolute athletic freak. Burden's probably going to be the slot guy on this team. I know Ben Johnson wasn't there last year, but towards the end of last year and in the preseason, DJ Moore is working the short yardage. If Odunze is going to be the deep ball guy, Burden's going to be the slot guy, and DJ Moore is going to be the outside guy working little curls and slants and stuff, I don't know. I'm more in tight. Now, I can't rank it that way. I don't have the cojones to, but it sounds to me like Burden, Odunze, and Moore could just be a frustrating trio. Now, I think Ben Johnson is smart enough and good enough to get all these guys involved and get them theirs, but if they all finish around 1,000 yards, I wouldn't be surprised, and that's in a crazy season. And then add in Loveland. Swift is great in the passing game as well. It's going to be tough. There's a lot of mouths to feed. Obviously, DJ Moore is the most proven, so that's why I have him ranked here, and I trust Ben Johnson is going to get their number one receiver the ball. That's simple. Next up, Terry McLaurin. We've seen guys that hold out and not participate in practice and preseason start the year very sluggish. And that's my fear, Terry McLaurin. I don't know if he has gotten paid or not. If he hasn't yet, he will. He's going to get paid. He's one of the best receivers in the league. Before last year, he was maxing out at 5 touchdowns a season. And last year was an extreme outlier, and I just can't predict that many touchdowns for him again. Maybe more than what he has been getting in the previous years, but in terms of last year, I think everyone should be expecting his touchdowns to come down. The yardage is always there for him. He's always like a 1,200-yard guy, so I think tier 6 is perfect for him. Next up, Xavier Worthy. Kansas City Chiefs receivers are an absolute nightmare to rank right now because no one knows what's happening with Rashee Rice. From my understanding, and guys I have listened to in the past and trust, Rice is going to play the first 3 to 4 games and get suspended 6 to 7 games. If that is the case, I like where I have Worthy. He's a second-year receiver. Andy Reid is not big on rookie receivers, and he was involved last year. Now, in his second year in an Andy Reid offense, I actually really like Xavier Worthy, but not if Rashee Rice is there. I think Rashee Rice is the number one. I think he's the target getter on this team. But if he's missing 6-7 weeks, that's going to turn into Worthy speed. I mean, they could throw him the ball behind the line of scrimmage and he could get a 50-yard touchdown. That's how crazy athletic and good Xavier Worthy is. My issue is, what if Rashee Rice's suspension happens next year? Or it's only 3 games. I'm going to look like an idiot because then Worthy should be lower and Rice hasn't even been mentioned yet. And if Rice is only missing 3 games, he should be in tier 4. If tier 4, you could argue that he should be in tier 3. So the Kansas City Chiefs are a nightmare right now. I would avoid drafting any with their current ADPs until we hear more on Rice. Next up, McMillan. This is my favorite receiver in tier 6. I honestly been flirting with him in tier 5. Every single year we see breakout rookie receivers. Bryce Young was looking very good towards the end of last year, and he just got his number one receiver. That receiving core honestly wasn't terrible, but they were missing a true number one, and from what we've seen in the preseason, what we're hearing out of camp, I think McMillan's that, and I think I'm scared I have him too low. I think his ceiling is a top 12 receiver. I know that's crazy. That's his ceiling. I'm not saying he will finish that. The ceiling is he has the potential for that, and I think he's going to win a lot of people fantasy football leagues. Next up, tier 7. Starting off, Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers is one of the most talented wide receivers in the NFL. The only reason he's this low is because of the team he's on. So he's not their touchdown guy. Not their touchdown guy at all. That usually goes to the tight ends and the running backs and Lamar Jackson himself. Lamar Jackson has the ability, and we've seen it, throw 30-plus touchdowns, and he's done that a couple, if not a multiple times already in his career. And Zay Flowers has just not been the guy receiving those touchdowns. He's always getting the yard, but they don't throw enough in the end zone. We know it's a run-first team. Lamar Jackson, since coming into the NFL, has one of the lowest pass attempts per game for a starting quarterback. It's like 26, 27. They're a run-first team, but Lamar Jackson's really good. He gets Zay Flowers the ball. He gets his yards. The only reason he's this low is because he only gets 4 to 5 touchdowns a year. Next up, Devontae Smith. Kind of in a similar situation as Zay Flowers. Now, he's not the number one. That's A.J. Brown. The Eagles are a run-first team, and on a run-first team that only throws the ball 27, 28 times a game, and he's the receiver number 2. That's why he's this low. Next up, Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter's this low because he's a rookie. If you've been listening to this video, not skipping around, you heard me talk about Brian Thomas Jr. and why he's in tier 3. It's because I think there's a small possibility Travis Hunter, with the hype, could be better than him. He has one of the best offensive-minded head coaches in the NFL. Trevor Lawrence has talent to be good. He just never really put it together, and I think that the new signing of the head coach can unlock that. He has Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. I think in a full point PPR league, Travis Hunter, I think he's going to be the short yardage guy, and I think that means he could get a lot of catches and targets. Now, he's dealing with an injury right now, but I'm not too worried about it yet. One of my fears is if he can't stay healthy in the NFL, that they say, okay, you're just a corner now. That's my biggest fear with Hunter, if I'm being completely honest. But other than that, I think as a receiver, he's going to be an absolute stud. Next up, Judy. If Joe Flacco is starting every single game, I would put Judy in tier 5. The fact that I just don't trust Flacco to start every game, and I think there's going to be a low point in the Browns season where they say, okay, let's see what our rookies can do. I have more hope for Shedeur Sanders. I think if Sanders is the starting quarterback, Judy can be as good, but he's not going to air the ball out like Flacco. Flacco is at the age where he doesn't care. He's just collecting paychecks and slinging rocks. And that's amazing for fantasy football. We've seen what he has done with Josh Downs last year on the Colts when he was playing. And I think Jerry Judy's better than Josh Downs as an NFL receiver. And I think he's going to be the number one target getter for Joe Flacco. Like I said, the issue is how long does Joe Flacco start? Because with the other quarterbacks, I'm not going to be as high on Judy as I am now. And last but not least in this tier, George Pickens. George Pickens is on Dallas. He's not a number one receiver anymore, but we've seen Dak Prescott throw the ball 40-plus times a game in seasons before. Now, different coordinators and all that, but George Pickens, man, I still think he can be a 1,000-yard, 10-plus touchdown guy on this Dallas Cowboys team. I think he can be the 1B next to Lamb. He's obviously not going to be better than CeeDee Lamb, but he's going to get the ball. Next up, tier 8, kicking it off, Waddle. He is an absolute stud when healthy. The issue with Waddle is he can't, like everyone else on this Miami Dolphins team, he can't stay healthy. And you also have the fear of Tua going down. If Tua goes down, if Waddle stays completely healthy but Tua goes down, then that kills his fantasy value too. It's a lose-lose situation. His rookie year, he had over 1,000 yards. He has the potential to be a great receiver in the NFL for fantasy football. It's just something holds him back every year. That's why he's in tier 8. Next up, J-Mo. I see a lot of guys hype on J-Mo. Now, it just could be I'm the low guy on the Lions this year. But he's a one-trick pony, right? He's a big play machine. He is crazy explosive, crazy fast. But a lot of his plays, I think, were drawn up specifically by Ben Johnson for him. And without Ben Johnson there, I know Detroit's going to keep some of the things that Ben Johnson was doing and learn from him. I just think Ben Johnson, man, he was a huge part of that Detroit team. I think J-Mo really only runs like 1 or 2 routes on the route tree. I don't think he's going to be as good as he was last year. Next up, Odunze, one of the freakishly talented wide receivers in the NFL. His catch radius is huge. I think that they're going to want to get him the ball. He's had nothing but good things said about him in camp so far. Love Odunze this year. Next up, Ricky Parasol. Guys, Ricky Parasol is the only receiver that is healthy right now for this 49ers team that is going to be fantasy relevant. We don't know when Ayuk's coming back. They said around 6-7, but even when he comes back, how good is he going to be, right? I mean, he's definitely not going to come back and just be a 100-yard receiver again. Juwan Jennings, I think his injury is more contract related. He wants to get paid, but we've seen Parasol click with Brock Purdy. He's been absolutely killing it in preseason. Love me some Parasol. Next up, Golden, rookie receiver on Green Bay. Green Bay is a very run-heavy team. That's why I have Golden this low. But we've seen failed receiver ones. We've seen them try Dobbs. We've seen them try Reed. We've seen them try Watson. I think Golden is their guy. I really like Golden to be the number one receiver in Green Bay, and the number one receiver, he gets tier 8 in Green Bay. Next up, Calvin Ridley. I'm low on Calvin Ridley compared to everyone else. I see everyone hyping up Calvin Ridley because he has Cam Ward, and they're going to be a lot better throwing the ball, which is true. Calvin Ridley's 30 years old. Are we expecting another breakout year out of Calvin Ridley at 30 years old? Let's be realistic about it. And how much scoring is this Titans offense actually going to do? No matter the hype, we've seen Trevor Lawrence and Caleb Williams. Cam Ward's not on that level of hype that those two guys were. We've seen them guys struggle the first few weeks in the NFL, and I think we're going to see Cam Ward struggle. I think Cam Ward's going to be a great quarterback. I love his confidence and the way he carries himself, but the fact of the matter is this is a Tennessee team that doesn't have a lot of offensive weapons. The offensive line's not the best. His best receiver is a 30-year-old that everyone's expecting to break out again. I don't understand the hype. Now, I think he's going to be good. I think he'll be floating around 1,000-ish yards with not too many touchdowns. I think 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns is realistic, but other than that, I don't understand why everyone has him so high. Next up, Tier 9. Kicking off Tier 9, we got Coleman. I absolutely love Coleman this year. I think he has the potential to be a wide receiver 2 for fantasy football. He was finding his groove last year, and then he got that injury, and he ended the season poorly, but we've heard nothing but great things out of him in camp. This is his second year in the NFL. He's going to grasp his system way better, and we usually see these type of receivers break out in years 2 and 3, so that's why I'm high on Coleman. I think he is one of my favorites. I'll get to my favorite in this group. Next up, Jakobi Meyers. We know what he is. He's a PPR machine. Outside of Brock Bowers, the only real target getter in this receiving core. He's one of those guys that you just know what he is. He's going to be 1,000 yards, maybe 80-some catches, and he might get a few touchdowns. He's not the biggest touchdown guy, but he's just a floor pick. That's my thing with Meyers. I never draft Meyers because he's a floor pick. Do I think Meyers has the potential to be a top 24 fantasy receiver? No, I do not. Do I think he has the potential to be a flex every single week? Yeah, I do. When I'm drafting, I don't want that. I'm drafting the highest ceilings. That's how you win fantasy football. But for what he is, he's tier 9. Next up, Emeka Egbuka. This is my favorite player in this tier. Now, he's in tier 9 because we don't know what's going to happen with Godwin. But as of right now, Godwin is most likely to start the year on the PUP list. Emeka Egbuka is getting nothing but high praise. Usually coaches aren't going to down talk their players. He is getting more than hype from his coaches. He was labeled the most ready NFL wide receiver coming in to the draft on a Tampa Bay offense that's going to air this ball out. I love Emeka Egbuka. Next up, Jordan Addison. 3-game suspension. We know what Jordan Addison is. He's second fiddle to Jefferson, obviously. Anyone else in the NFL would be too. But he's extremely good, man. His first, I think this is his 4th year coming in, but every single year over 1,000 yards, he gets his touchdowns. He's a big play machine, and I think he's someone that after the suspension's over, he could be extremely fantasy relevant. Next up, Burden. If you follow me on social media, you've seen my video on him already. I think he can be an absolute stud. He's going to most likely be the slot receiver in a Ben Johnson offense. You want that. Next up, Rashee Rice. Kind of already talked to him when I talked about Worthy. No one really knows. As of right now, I'm ranking it as he's going to miss 6 to 7 weeks, and it's going to be later in the year. So I mean, if you draft him hoping that you just get off to an early start and you go 2-2, 1-3, that's just a huge whiff. Next up, Jauan Jennings. He's dealing with injuries right now. Once that injury clears and he gets paid, I think I will move him up. I'm scared. I talked about it with Terry McLaurin. These NFL receivers that hold out for contracts and then they get paid, they're sluggish because they haven't been practicing. They haven't been playing in preseason. They are sluggish the first few weeks. And if he's sluggish in the first few weeks, I think Parasol can easily run away as the wide receiver 1 in San Fran. Next up, tier 10. Kicking off tier 10, Josh Downs. It has nothing to do with talent, why I have him low. It's because of the quarterback situation. Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones, not the best people to throw him the ball. We seen when Flacco was there. If Flacco was still in Indianapolis, I would have Josh Downs probably tier like 7, but he's extremely explosive. He's good. He's a good football player, but with the state of the quarterback situation for the Colts, I got him tier 10. Next up, Chris Olave. Same deal with Downs. Nothing personal, nothing to do with skill. It's more of the team he's on. I don't know if the Saints even know who their quarterback is. I can probably only name one quarterback on the Saints right now. This Saints team is going to be one of the worst teams I've ever seen in the NFL. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But as of right now, tier 10. Next up, Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin is tier 10 because he's probably leaning towards starting the year on the PUP list. He could come back and be good, but at that point, coming off of that nasty ankle injury, we know Mike Evans is going to get his. If he's out and Emeka Egbuka emerges, why would they damage the future of this team with playing him over Egbuka? Doesn't make sense to me. Next up, Keenan Allen, 32 years old. He didn't look that bad on the Bears, but his whole career always dealing with some type of injury. So at 32 years old, I'm expecting him to get hurt again. And also, I just don't know how good he's going to be. We'll see, though. I mean, it's Keenan Allen. He could easily be good. Next up, Hollywood Brown. This is someone, again, another Chiefs receiver. Depending on how much time Rice misses, Hollywood Brown could be actually really good. We've seen him have multiple good games while Rice missed games last year. So we'll see what happens there. Cooper Kupp finished the year terrible. He's 32 now. That's the age that receivers typically slow down. And in the NFL, when you looked washed, you're most likely washed. He didn't look good in a McVay-ran offense with Stafford. Now he's going to Seattle with Darnold as his quarterback. Definitely not as good as Matthew Stafford. The play calling over there is not going to be as good as McVay. That's why I'm low on him. Next up, Christian Kirk. I think Christian Kirk can actually be fantasy relevant. I really do. I think he could be a little PPR beast. He's probably going to be in that slot role. Like I said before, CJ Stroud has the potential to throw for 4,000 yards, and Nico Collins isn't getting 4,000 yards. Someone else is going to have to catch the ball there. I like Christian Kirk a lot. And his injury last year was a broken collarbone. Nothing with the legs. So that's also a plus for him. And then last but not least, Khalil Shakir. He's already dealing with an injury. He's a PPR beast, though. I think he's a floor pick. I don't think he has any potential to finish anything crazy, but I think he could be a guy you plug in and out at flex. Next up, tier 11. Kicking off tier 11 is Stephon Diggs. I'm definitely the low guy on Diggs this year. He's a 31-year-old receiver coming off of an ACL tear, going to be playing on the outside. I don't like him winning a lot of matchups versus NFL corners. Tier 11 it is. Next up, Pittman. Like I said with Josh Downs, I think Downs is better than Pittman. Pittman's always dealing with some type of injury. And the way he plays, I don't think Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson are going to do him any justice. Next up, Deebo Samuel. He looked terrible on the 49ers last year to end the year. Now he is second fiddle on a Washington team. He could be the number one receiver if McLaurin actually does get traded, but I don't think that's the case. I don't see Deebo Samuel being much of a factor. Next up, Reed. We know what Reed is. This Green Bay team, they don't like to throw the ball a lot. They're an extremely run-heavy team. Now, the only upside with Reed is we've seen in the past he can be explosive. I think Love was dealing with a lot of injuries last year, so they could throw the ball a lot more, closer to 50-50. But I think we know what Reed is at this point in his career. Next up, Darnell Mooney, number 2 receiver. Extremely underrated. I think he could be a little bit fantasy relevant. I think he's a guy that you're going to want to play the matchups with. But overall, I think Mooney is draftable. Next up, McMillan, Tampa Bay receiver. He just got a neck injury, so I hope everything's okay there, but they don't seem too concerned about it. McMillan, I didn't think they needed to draft Emeka Egbuka. I thought he was really good in his rookie year. So depending on the Godwin situation, he could be fantasy relevant. Next up, Demario Douglas, playing the slot for McDaniels. Do I need to say any more? Wes Welker, Julian Edelman, do they ring a bell? And I think he's going to be the top target getter in this receiver core. Next up, Mims on Denver. He's Denver's second receiver. This is his third year. I know he hasn't had the NFL career that a lot of people thought he would. But coming to his third year, man, I mean, we've seen it every year. Nico Collins, third year, broke out. We've seen Cooper Kupp, third year, broke out. So we see these NFL receivers that have a little bit of height, don't pan out, and then their third year, where did this come from? So Mims is someone that I'm sneakily taking in my second to last rounds of fantasy football drafts. Last but not least, tier 12. Brandon Ayuk, he's not going to come back until week 6 or 7, but if you're set, if you have a really good first half of fantasy football, Brandon Ayuk's someone that you could stash, and he could help you win a fantasy football championship. It's going to take him a few weeks to get to himself again, an ACL and an MCL tear, not the prettiest, but if he comes back as his normal self after a few sluggish weeks, he could help you, like I said. Next up, Higgins, rookie receiver in Houston. Like I said, someone's going to have to catch the ball other than Collins. I think it's going to be Kirk, but I mean, they're going to be in a lot of 3-receiver sets. Higgins is very draftable. Adam Thielen, he just somehow stays fantasy relevant every single year. Next up, Wan'Dale Robinson. We know what he is. He's a PPR machine. He can get you 8 catches in a week. Tillman, as long as Flacco's there, I think Tillman's very draftable. I think he's going to be their deep ball guy. Next up, Williams, rookie receiver on New England. I think he's a little sleeper. Next up, Cincinnati receiver Isalvaz. I believe I just butchered that name really bad, but he's more of a handcuff. We see T. Higgins deal with an injury every year. And even if Jamar Chase, God forbid, knock on wood, if Jamar Chase gets hurt, he can be extremely fantasy relevant. Mitchell, we know AR has an absolute cannon. If AR gets the starting job there, I think Mitchell is a sneaky little receiver to draft. Next up, McCaffrey. Guys, if McLaurin, for God knows what reason, actually does get traded, Luke McCaffrey is going to be really good. He has a great separation in his routes. I think he's going to be really good if McLaurin gets traded for God knows what reason. I don't think it's likely, but if he does, you're going to want to stack up on some McCaffrey. Next up, Quentin Johnston. He had a lot better year last year than he did the year previously, so if he can build off that, I think he'd be good. Trey Harris, he was someone that I was actually really high on until Allen signed. But like I said, Allen, 32 years old, he could easily get hurt. Trey Harris, I think, is a little sneaky stash if you're in a deeper league. Romeo Doubs, we know what he is. And then Xavier Legette, coming into his second year, he's good, man. I think he played a really good once Bryce Young started playing good. I don't think he's going to be a role beater or anything. I think, if anything, he could be the receiver too. Maybe with Adam Thielen getting older, he could take that role over, but we'll see what happens there. That was my wide receiver tier list coming into the 2025 season for fantasy football. Thank you for tuning in, man. Much appreciated. I'm going to put in the description the full sheet to my tier list, every position. And it's constantly updating, man. I update it with news, injuries, all that stuff. So, like I said, go check that out, man. I'm going to join the Discord, completely free to join. I'm more interactive in there. Any questions, all that. Guys ask me, start, sit, what do you think of my draft? Love talking shop with the guys. So join that. Follow me on everything. Subscribe. Let's go win a fantasy football championship.